Reds began in terrific fashion. A sweep in St. Louis, a series win against the defending world champs. But Chicago was a different story. 4 straight losses, including a heartbreaker yesterday in extra innings. Tonight, back in D.C. for an interleague matchup with Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. Unbeaten Steven Strasburg, he goes in Game 1 from Nationals Park. It's cloudy, but a nice night at the ballpark. Welcome to Nationals Park. We're glad to be back in town. Miguel Cabrera, 1 for 4 career against Steven Strasburg. So those two will be matching up 3 or 4 times tonight. Hey, we hope so. That means Steven is pitching late into the game against these Tigers, who have quite an attack, but they haven't quite hit on all cylinders yet. All right, we would have taken a 5-5 road trip 2 weeks ago. It didn't end the way anybody wanted it to, and this whole Bryce Harper situation is taking on a life of its own.
It was. Yesterday was a historic day in many ways, but when you talk about what happened yesterday, I mean, Joe Maddon's strategy was to take Bryce Harper out of the game. He did. It worked for the Cubs. They got their wins, but let Bryce play. I mean, it was hard to watch yesterday. It was boring baseball. You talk about make baseball fun again. You understand the strategy. It worked, but I just feel bad for all the kids in the Chicago area that got to see Bryce Harper maybe play one time, and it's all he went was 1 for 4 in the series, and you see all the walks, the historic stats, and it was just tough to watch. So you hope Bryce gets to play tonight, and you hope he gets some pitches to hit, but until somebody starts hitting behind him, and guess what? Ryan Zimmerman will hit behind him. I talk about it all the time, what a good hitter he is with runners in scoring position. He had one bad day yesterday. It was a historically bad day, but he had one bad day, and I think if Dusty Baker put anybody else in the 4th spot today, then you might as well get a blogger to manage a team.
As St. Louis walked Bryce twice, Kansas City didn't walk him. Cubs 13 times. Unbelievable. Now, speaking of the road trip, Steven Strasburg, home or road, he's been very good lately, and he is really now the pitcher we all hoped he would become.
Yeah, 5-0, his best start ever, and it's just all been with any pitch at any count, the fastball command, the presence on the mound. I mean, in 2010, when he came up and struck out 14 in his first big league start, there was a presence, but he has that presence again. He's a force on the mound. He's intimidating. Why? Because he throws all of his pitches for strikes, and he trusts his fastball, I think, more than he did in 2010 when he threw 100 miles an hour.
And so his first half-dozen starts, last couple of seasons, Strasburg, his best ever. So 13 innings, 4 runs, couple of wins on the road trip. And so he's off to his best start ever, and certainly best since early in his career. So Dusty Baker, pretty much the same lineup, although Jason Worth gets a night off. Ben Revere goes to left, Michael A. Taylor in center. Good luck hitting the gapper between those two guys and Bryce Harper.
Yeah, there's a lot of center fielders out there tonight for the Nats that can cover a lot of ground. So Jason Worth with the night off, and hopefully Ryan Zimmerman has a good night tonight. He can drive in runs. He's fine in the 4th spot. I don't think you change him ever.
The Tigers are in town, and you know who that means. Miguel Cabrera has hit .360 career against Nationals pitching. And of course, they've got Justin Upton, the former Brave, in there. So with those guys in there, we ask the question, who is Nick Castellanos? We'll find out shortly.